We are live and we can put this away and welcome everybody who is joining us for today's live stream. I'm still waiting for my guest. She probably has important business to tend to, but yes, welcome to yet another live stream here with me, Helmar Rudolph of the Sacred Symbols app, and the lovely Karyn Chabot, who is going to be with us in a few moments, couple of moments. How do you say? A few moments, couple of moments. Today, we have some interesting business. And the interesting business, Karyn has just arrived. I'm just letting her warm up a bit and ease into our stream. Today, the title is For You, and For You. And you may ask yourself, why did we chose this? We chose this because we want to go through some practical issues and to point out to you and alert you to the fact that Cardology really is for you, and it's for you, and it is for you too, because there's just such a myriad of applications for specific, or particularly for specific groups. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Specific, I don't know if we can call it demographics, but let me switch. Let me add her to the stage. I want this display. I have to add her to the stage again. There she is.
Hi, everyone. Sorry I was a little late. I was using the old link, just sitting there waiting in the other link room, waiting for you.
You have been underlinked. There you are.
I'm glad I made it, and we're here, and we're going to do this, and we have so much to cover, and want to make sure that everyone understands that we may not be able to cover all those bullet points that I put in the Facebook event chat or post, but eventually we will cover all of them, because Helmar and I are going to do this hopefully once a month or more, and we'll get to all of them eventually. Maybe we can get to a lot of it today, but we might also have time for questions.
Exactly. So stay with us. It's going to be interesting. And I have, with my German precision and accuracy and reliability, I have even created something different. And this is this. Hold on. Let me get this on the stage. I think it's this. And then it's this. Right? Okay. So at the bottom center, you see something that looks like a timer. And if it looks like a timer, you may actually be right. It is a timer. So the timer will hold us both to account, so to say, right? That we stick to the time and do not exceed this time even by 1 second, because we have the timer always in full view. And I'm going to click the magic button. When I click the magic button, the timer goes from 30 minutes down to 0. So 30 minutes I've given us for each of those subjects. Obviously, we can always talk about this a lot longer. But here is the first question, because we then sort of aim at splitting this up. And in fact, seeing this now, I'm just going to move this up a bit so that it is in view all the time, even though we have a banner down there. So, Karyn, are you ready?
I'm ready. Yeah.
The time is running. Cardology answers for
I never heard you with that German accent. It's making me laugh. I can't hold it in.
Isn't this hilarious? Yes, this is hilarious. Yeah. So, today we will be very strict. Cardology answers for business endeavors. Are you a business partner type? Who should you choose or avoid as a business partner? And with this, the timer says, let's go. Right. And okay. With this, I'll hand over.
About it.
Right. There she is.
Okay.
Are you a business partner type? What makes a business partner type?
There are certain people born that just naturally always think of a business idea, or maybe they're entrepreneurial and by spirit, but they always associate it with, well, if I find a business partner, then I can do it. And that's their inner narrative. They just migrate. Their mind bends in that direction of, I'll need a partner to do this. But I have the great idea that could be entrepreneurial, and they want to go into this entrepreneurial endeavor, but always with someone. These are people born on a day of two.
Can I jump in there, because I'd like to, because this is so interesting, and because it is a subject not dear to my heart, but sort of in a way dear to my heart. And I want to actually sort of start one level up, because if I show this, are you a business partner type? This implies already that you are suitable for business. And this is, no offense at all, quite the opposite, a typically American thing. And this American thing has found its way across the ocean into Europe with all those network marketing and recommendation marketing, any kind of multi-level network marketing organization. And I always say, sorry, this is going to be a bit long, but I think it's very important. They're the people on stage, right? And they're trying to get you excited for their business thing. And that, whether it's a network marketing organization or not, actually makes no difference. But they're speaking to a myriad of people, of whom probably only a fraction is actually business-minded. Not that anyone can learn it. Yes, everybody can learn it. Everybody can it. But for some people, it's just easier. And other people should, for their own sake, not get involved in this in the first place. And I think this, sorry for taking up a minute and a half here of your valuable 13 minutes, but this is so important.
I just skipped that part. We got past that part and jumped into
find out first from your card, and not only Cardology, also use the other, whether you're actually business minded, or whether maybe sort of you are in a completely or more suited for a completely different setup. So maybe, let's say, network marketing, for argument's sake, is not actually for you. Yes, they have something. Yes, it sounds appealing, but no, it's not for me, because my strengths are in different areas. That's a question. I'm not saying, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Sort of, network marketing is obviously sort of it's a slice of consciousness. It's a slice of the big cake that sort of we all tap into, but. Just because network marketing exists, just because those business opportunities exist, doesn't mean that you're actually the right person for that. And this is why it's so important, from my point of view, to dive into that and to find out more about yourself. And Cardology is a very important tool. But let's assume for a second, we've got 10 minutes left, that you are, that you are interested in like a business kind of setup. So let's find out from Karyn whether you're actually a business partner type and who you should choose and avoid as a business partner. And Karyn started off saying that sort of anyone born with a 2, who's got a 2 as a birth card.
Or planetary ruling, or I call the internal card. So that's a whole nother that's a separate question. So what you're asking is a separate question from what we started, is, are you a natural born entrepreneur? Do you have a bias to be an entrepreneur? Are you born with the skill set and to be an entrepreneur? And I can see that in the Vedic astrology chart. So that is something that, taken many, many workshops on. Who is the entrepreneur? Because when people come to me and ask me, what's my sole purpose? I need to look at that first, because everybody wants the American dream, be in their own business, but not everybody is equipped to do that. So I'll tell you what, just in a nutshell, when you have courage in the third house is in a chart of any sort, Vedic or, tropical Western, just so you know that third house is the house of entrepreneurial endeavors. And if you have a debilitation or an affliction in the third house, it's very challenging to run your own business, and you may not have the courage to do it, or you might have the courage to do it but not have the skill set. And then there's another indication, the 6th house, and I'm going to get into the cards and bring this there in a minute, but the 6th house represents employees. And if you have a debilitation or affliction in your 6th house, you may run your own business. And this happened to me. I opened the Newport Massage School, and I did it for 5 years, but I couldn't find any good employees. They were all betraying me. I spent more time policing my employees than I did making my school good. So that's because I had no luck in the 6th house. So that's that's Vedic astrology, but we can see very similar things using the cards. And when I use them both, we have amazing confluence and accuracy. So in the cards, the King of Diamonds is the entrepreneurial card. It's the card of the CEO. This is the man that actually won't take orders. He doesn't want to take orders, and he shouldn't have to. And I'm going to just say that's the first head honcho CEO card. My father was the King of Diamonds, May 6th, just like your daughter. And he actually consulted other entrepreneurs, and he had the Center for Entrepreneurial Management in New York City for 25 years. And he then opened up the Chief Executive Officers Club, and he had chapters all over the world. And these are, he was the leader of other CEOs, leader of leaders. So this is the King of Diamonds classic. And this could be the direction your daughter takes, hopefully, when she grows up. But these King of Diamonds, they like to run the show, and they're captain of their own ship. Now we can go into the male queens. You could be a male and be a Queen of Diamond, and that makes you more like a King of Diamonds. And I'll just say all of the face cards, jacks, queens, kings, these are the cards that really don't want to take orders. And let's face it, they might not need to take orders. They're pretty smart. They're pretty royal, sometimes maybe a little holier than thou, but that's okay. They know how to do it. They have the skill set. And I'm not saying that they will succeed 100% because there are other things to look at, but these are the people that will want to, and they'll dream for it, and they'll work for it. Now, there's other cards. It doesn't mean that if you're not a face card that you can't be an entrepreneur. You can still be an entrepreneur. The Six of Clubs is an amazing entrepreneur. And let me just think for a second. The Three of Clubs is another card that is a good entrepreneur, because his shadow card, or and other systems call it the karma card, is the King of Diamonds. And I've seen a lot of Three of Clubs be very successful running their own ship in their own business. But I'll tell you off the top of my head, most of them struggle to do it, because it is the King of Diamonds CEO card, the captain of your own ship card, is in the shadows, meaning to get there, you'd have to, climb up a little bit more of a mountain than other people, or if you were just born clear cut on a King of Diamonds day. So the Three of Clubs dreams for it, wants it, can do it, but it's harder. The King of Diamonds, easy peasy. And like I said, the Queen of Diamonds, if you're a man, even if you're a woman, that is another really amazing card for being an entrepreneur. But there's much more I can talk about, but I won't, go on and on, because we only have these little short snippets of time. Do you have any questions?
Me not, but sort of, as you said, like the third and the sixth house, I mean, there is a clear connection to the numerological and cardological quality of the three, because three is about diversity, three is about expansion, and six is always is like the home. That's the social number. That's the group of people. That's the people that you're looking after. And you said it's about employees. And we say hello to Emerging Spirit, Girl Boss TV, and Goddess Sharon from Florida. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Nice to have you with us. And feel free to comment. If you have asked questions, feel free. We'll accumulate them and respond to them a little later. One thing I want to say, if anyone is interested, if anyone is watching this and is interested in business, I learned a lot from Itzhak Adizes, Adizes, Adiz or zes.com, Itzhak Adizes. And he came up with management cycles, life cycles, management styles and corporate life cycles, two different subjects. And in management styles, he says that the ideal manager doesn't exist. He had like four letters, P, A, E, and I. Producer, administrator, entrepreneur, and integrator. And you could have a capital P, but you can also have like a small p. But if you have no p, if you like have a blank in any of those four positions, you create some form of mismanagement, because you can't have only administration and entrepreneurship and integration, but nothing gets produced, right? Small p is fine. And he said in a single person, you won't find one that has a capital P, a capital A, a capital E, a capital I. You won't find the perfect manager in one person. And this is also like a fascinating subject for another conversation, to look at more at the business side and team building using cardology. Sort of compiling, setting up the perfect team where you have a strong producer, you have a strong administrator, you have a strong entrepreneur, and you've got a strong integrator. So that's just what I wanted to add. Sharon said she loves the conversation, and Claire is also here. Greetings, Claire. Nice to have you with us.
Oh, Claire, hello.
Yay, cool. Oh, so you know her? I don't. So
yeah, she's a 3 of clubs. She said she could be in her own business. Easy peasy.
Yeah, but she needs to get the King of Diamonds out of the shadows.
yeah, she can step right in though. She's evolved.
Yeah,
and we didn't talk about the business.
The funny thing, me being a 5 of Diamonds is the King of Diamonds and the Queen of Diamonds are my karma cousins, as Robert Kemp calls them. So it's like, I've got a 3 of Clubs second karma card, so there's a King of Diamonds behind it, and I've got a 9 of Diamonds first karma card, and there's a Queen of Diamonds in front of that, because the Queen of Diamonds is the first karma card for the 9 of Diamonds. So I've got them in my
natural, but your decanate is a king. You're a king of clubs. Your decanate governs your career. You should be running your own business. You'd be frustrated if you didn't. You will not. You don't need to take orders from anybody. You kind of already see what you need to do, and you would just be aggravated.
Well, if you had to be. And with the 5 of Diamonds, all the cards on the Uranus line, I can cause a stink. I'm a rebel rouser. So I've realized after many years. Yes, I should be in business, but I shouldn't run my own business. I need a CEO because I'm the one with the ideas. I'm the creative one. I think outside the box. I make those things happen because I've got those talents, but I should not run my own show.
But you can hire people.
I shouldn't run my finances because I suck at finances. With a 9 of Diamonds first karma card, which is also my Mars card, I should stay away from that. I realized that. 45.
You can hire people then. Yeah.
We've got Torsten joining us from Germany. What about an Ace of Clubs? Give us 36 seconds. Ace of Clubs.
Okay, well, quickly, the aces love doing things in their own way. They're very independent people. They resonate to the number 1. So yes, it is an entrepreneurial card. I will give that, like just right up there with the face cards and the King of Diamonds. The aces are really entrepreneurial, pioneering. Actually, they come up with ideas that nobody else can come up with. They're like trailblazers, but. Do they have diamonds in them? The Ace of Clubs might have the ideas, the new, pioneering something that no one else has ever heard of. But then you might need, so the Ace of Clubs, for example, is a twin. So you're a person that would do well in a partnership. And I was going to go there with this first question. Should you be a partner? There's 2 cards that are twin cards, like the 9 of Hearts, 7 of Diamonds, and the Ace of Clubs, 2 of Hearts. So Ace of Clubs will have the brilliant idea, like Helmar. He has all the ideas, but can he follow through with the details and generate the money? Your 2 of Hearts companion, which makes you a twin card. The 2 of you are twins together. The 2 of Hearts with you would be an amazing partnership, because guess what? The 2 of Hearts plus the Ace of Clubs makes a 3 of Clubs, which is that card I told you, the shadow to the King of Diamonds, which is the entrepreneur. So it is a beautiful thing. And whoever this Ace of Clubs is, if you want to move forward and have your own business, you can do it. And if you want a partner, you're the guy to be in a partnership if you want it. The other aces, not so much. Other aces are just leave me alone. I'm going to do it myself. That one Ace of Clubs likes to be with a partner.
Thank you very much for that. I was about to say that because aces, 5s, and 10s are a lot more about me, myself, and I, not so much about others. And if the question is, are you a business partner type, then sort of, you have to see that in that context. Actually, are you a good partner? And a good partner always means being able to compromise, being able to communicate, being able to let the other person shine where that person is good. Sort of recognize and realize and recognize their strength and what they bring to the table. And I think the aces, 5s and 10s may have initially problems with that because they're so self-centered. But with the Ace of Clubs, you're saying maybe an exception because of that twinning with the 2 of Hearts. That brings us to our next section. Cardology Insights for Parenting offers an understanding of the parent-child dynamic and soul genealogy.
I love this topic. I just love it.
Oh, you've got 15 minutes.
Okay.
Not only you. Okay, so shall I start because you go before you go off
You
the
can
rails?
start. You might even bring your daughter into this because your daughter. I just love that your daughter was born May 6th, and the connection between you and her, and there is soul genealogy. So she came to you. I know you chose the day, but I believe still she had a hand, or God had a hand in that too.
Well,
So I don't think it was a coincidence.
Well, she certainly sort of on the day chosen for her, she found a really easy and quick entry, almost as if she couldn't wait.
Yeah, it was a
And
divine
I don't
timing.
know. I don't know. I mean, in retrospect, we'll find out. Hindsight is 2020. Sort of we'll find out whether it was a good choice to have with a King of Diamonds birth card rather than Ace of Diamonds or a Ace of Spades or Queen of Diamonds. Because I mean, so with the Ace of Spades, with all the cards on the Venus line with those odd cards, and the Queen of Diamonds on the Saturn line, Saturn with all that sort of strength and restriction, all the odd numbers on that line. That's a tough life path, especially for a woman. So I thought, like, sort of, okay, King of Diamonds, it's the only one-eyed king, so it could be a bit blind at times with a sword up, But,
Yes.
But it's
But
on the
I think
Mars
it was
line.
the best choice.
It's got a 6 of Hearts Mercury card. So there's the peacemaker. There's the mind, sort of aimed at other people and creating peace and creating balance there.
Yes.
Insights for Parenting offers an understanding of the parent-child dynamic in soul genealogy. Yes, it does, and I think that's one of the most amazing things in cardology. It's not just like me, myself, and I. When was I born, and what is my sort of my birth card? What's my planetary ruler? What's my life path? But no, what actually is someone else's birth card and their path? Because cardology allows us to develop a deeper understanding of others and why they are different to us. And also in a parent-child dynamic. Yeah, sorry. And also in like a parent-child dynamic, if you know what someone else's cards are, especially if they're like, say, like in kindergarten or at school, you can guide them. You see where they have blind spots, and you can guide them, and you can balance that out. I mean, that's the beauty of consciousness. You understand, you see or understand that there's let's say a strength here, but there's a deficiency here. Then you can bring in more of those qualities and help guide that child. And also understand that it's not a clone of you, sort of, but that it's its own soul and pursuing its own path with its own qualities. But now,
beautiful. Yeah.
You go.
Well, okay, thank you. Sorry, I interrupted a minute. I got excited to tell you about this. Soul contracts just light me up, and sometimes I can't hold it in. So the king in your daughter, in her natal, is, right up there, top of the line, with power and leadership abilities. But she could steamroll possibly anybody, let's just say, because that birthday is extremely powerful. Let's just put the cards on the table, be transparent. We have to be careful with May 6th birthdays because of their power, and they need good parents. They can't have absentee parents. You can't, be busy. You can't, you have to pay attention with this child, because you're going to groom her, hopefully, to take leadership, to be a lighthouse for the world, and not, a reprobate somewhere in the gutter, because they could be king of the homeless, or they could be king of the country. So let's get really clear that your job, Helmar, is perfect. She chose you because your decanate is a king. So she cannot steamroll you. You guys are equal, and she might try, because that's what children do. They want to see their power. But you, Helmar, are going to be asked to step up into your king, and you're going to say, oh, no. These are the rules. And you're going to lay them down for her, because she is going to find that as she grows up as a king, female king especially, that she's going to be able to get away with things because she's so smart, and she's, the one-eyed card. She can trick people even when she's, when she realizes that's not the right thing to do. But all children are they're going to push the envelope and put their hand in the cookie jar until they realize that there's karma. And that takes a while for that to happen. So you're going to watch her carefully as her father. You're the perfect dad for her. And then your her mom, what's your daughter's name?
Lori.
Lori.
Ella.
So Lori's mom is Jack of Spades. So that Jack of Spades also belongs to the one-eyed Trine of Deception. There's 3 cards that belong to that. And it doesn't mean that you're deceptive. It means you're part of this Trine of Deception. And I'm just bringing this in quickly because I find that a lot of mothers, daughters, fathers, family, all incarnate into the Trine of Deception, and they're either policing it or they're stirring the pot. So you have to decide which one you want to be. Are you going to stir the pot, or are you going to, and sometimes you have, and it could be either way, a parent that is stirring the pot, has not learned values and is a trickster. And then you have a kid who just comes out who wants to police it and shine the light on the father. And then that child is the father's biggest lesson, or reverse. The child could be born, with the proclivity for wanting to break the rules in the Trine of Deception, but he or she's born into a family where the father or mother are also part of the Trine of Deception, but they chose to police it. So that's good, because then they make sure that child stays out of jail and doesn't cause trouble. So the Trine of Deception attracts each other, and it's perfect because this little girl, Lori, isn't going to be able to get away with anything if the two of you are on it. And if you get busy and distracted, then it's not so good. But you are perfect parents for this child. And notice when you are looking in the book, I have the 52 Star Codes of Creation, the secret 52 Star Codes of Creation, or you can look in any of these card books because the natal cards are all mostly the same. And if you look at the, I forgot what I was going to say. Hold on. Oh, yeah. So if you look at the moon card, so my moon, I was born on November 29th, born as a 4 of hearts, but in the earth spread, the moon to that is the Jack of Diamonds, and that's my mother. She's born on a Jack of Diamonds day. I'm doing this for 25 years. I can't tell you how many of my clients, I would just give it an 80% that all their mothers are literally their moon card. How crazy is that? That's just, you can't make that up. So look at your mother.
For me, it's my brother.
Her birthday. What'd you say?
For me, it's my brother, but sort of I'm the moon to my mother in the natural spread because she's a 6 of diamonds.
Interesting. Now that's a different dynamic. So if you're the moon to her, then you were the nourisher to her, and you let her be the mama. You didn't try to challenge her leadership skill as a mother. Maybe, of course, all kids do to some degree, but she must have just adored you, because as soon as you were born, her heart was warmed, because the moon is the divine mother. The moon represents the emotional body, the emotional mind as well. And she gives birth to her moon card. She probably just wanted to eat you up, because that's what nourishes us. Like kiss your cheeks till she couldn't do it anymore. And then, I was the moon. My mother was the moon to me. So that means I was her son. And that's tough, because, and this is very common, that the mother-daughter situations, it's not easy. Mother-daughters tend to have friction. And there's the great mother wound that I talk about in my book. Anyone born on a 9 of clubs day or a 6 of clubs day will have the most serious mother wound cards or afflictions born into it. And it is genealogy. It goes way into the lineage. It's not just you and your mom, but if you look at her mom and her mom and her mom and her mom, it keeps going. And maybe this is the time to heal it. So I was sort of the one that wore the pants in a way with my mother. I was a leader. I was a rule breaker. And I, didn't really let her, up until a point, of course, in my youth, with little kids are vulnerable, they just let their moms tell them. But as soon as I started coming into my own, I started realizing I saw things differently, and I went the road less traveled, and she didn't like that so much. And this is very common between mothers and daughters. Look at your moon card. Look at the position. Are you the moon or is she the moon? And if there's no sun-moon connection too, that's okay. I've actually seen beautiful mother-daughter connections where they form a 2 of hearts together, which is, soulmate card, and then that child is a blessing, and there isn't any power struggle.
I just want to kick in quickly, and also, thank you very much for that. That is super helpful if one, and if I look at my family relationship, I mean, my father was a 9 of diamonds as my first karma card. My mother is next to me, you know, is in the spiritual spread. My brother is my moon card. My other brother is also diamond. He's in the spiritual spread. He's a Venus to me. So there's like, you know, and my brother's girlfriend is his first karma card. So he's a 6, 7 of clubs, and she's an 8 of diamonds. But just in general, just want like let's take it out of the family, you know. So yes, that is close to us, but then sort of it's like it becomes very, very focused. Just in general, the system of cardology, from my point of view, is so awesome because the 4 suits cover the emotional side, the mental side, the material side, the spiritual side, and it gives you. It's almost like a lighthouse, like 4 lighthouses in a way, you know, that show the light, that show the path, and that allow you in a very easy to understand and easy to follow way to foster and nurture those qualities in your children. Because if you see that they have a certain inclination, then you say, hey, okay, that's fine, you know, that's cool, but sort of they may be lacking this and this and that, so that we use the card system to make them whole, to make them round, so that they don't have blind spots. I mean, so this is certainly good for us ourselves anyway, you know, so that we acquire at least to some degree acquire skills in all of those 4 suits. Because we don't want, you know, that's like the Ichagadi's PAEI, you know, we don't want to have or want to be capable on the heart side, on the club side, on the diamond side, but have a complete blank on the spade side, right? So because we want to cover the spiritual aspect as well. You don't want to be you know, like an ace on the spade side, on the diamond side, and on the heart side, but have a complete blank on the club side, you know, sort of being unable to communicate, to use your intellectual powers, etc., etc. And I think there's the card system, Sacred Symbols Cardology, is really, really suited for that, and it's easy to understand, and to first comprehend and grasp the idea that actually everything in our life is covered by those 52 cards.
Yeah, it's actually mind-blowing, isn't it? Yeah, not to get lost in it and give your power away to it, but to use it as a resource to actually develop your own intuition. Sometimes I'll get a hit, sometimes I'll just get a download and I just know something and I trust that, and then I go to the cards after. And the important part is after, because if you look at it before, you could start setting up what we call self-fulfilling prophecy, and
Yes.
and then you can manifest something in that direction, and it would taint your outcome. So if you get a hit and you don't look at the cards, or you don't know, and you're in this the unknown, which is the most pure place to be, then you look at the cards and you go, oh, and it aligns with your download. Then you can start knowing when you have those downloads and those little hits. Then you can start saying, yeah, I did check that last time and I felt this way about it last time, and it was true when I looked at the cards. So then you can start developing that feeling of, I don't even have to look anymore. I know that's true. So that's why these cards are so powerful. It's all about self-empowerment and not being addicted to the cards, and not use it in a way where you can't follow your own intuition and you surrender everything to the system. It's not what we are teaching. We're teaching how you can have your own barometer and then use the cards as backup and start trusting even more. But these cards it is galactic technology. This is God clock. This is a divine oracle and calendar, all based on math and science. It is not random like tarot, where you throw the cards and you measure the moment of consciousness. And there's some validity to that. I like tarot, sure, but it is not that way. This system is based on algorithms, on true formulas. And the reason you can do that is because each card has a star code, a number. And when you start having numbers, then you can start adding, subtracting, multiplying, and using all kinds of downloads that would take you to the next level with new formulas. There's so much yet to be discovered in this technology that it's so exciting. Sometimes they lay awake thinking, oh my God, this is a new one. This is a new one. And I can't, I need help with other people because I can't do it all myself, coming up with all the new ideas. But we're just tapping in to this technology. We barely are touching the surface, and I'm thrilled and lit up about it. because I believe it is not just about learning self-discovery, but this can go big. This could, the military should know about this. The governments, all the good people, not the bad people, not the, the reprobates that are out there that are part of the shadows. We want the people who are in truth, seekers of truth in high positions to have this.
Thank you.
Yes, because this is too sacred and too powerful for it to fall into the wrong hands.
And this is, I mean, look, the wrong hands will use it for their nefarious purposes, and they also know that they will fall onto their own sword as they do, because just the way the universe is set up, they may succeed. There may be the appearance of success, but they know that karma will deal with them accordingly. We've got some lovely comments here. Number 1, hello, I'm a 3 of Hearts and I love your app.
Hello, 3 of Hearts.
Yay. I've got another one. Ace of Clubs, plenty ruler and love working alone. It explains so much. And we've got Darkstar. I'm curious about the heart suit because I'm an 8 of Hearts. The 8 of Hearts has the 6 of Clubs Mercury card, and you just said that 6 of Clubs is a very strong business card. So their mind is wired that way. But so it's also, if I've just done the series on the Sacred Symbols YouTube channel about the 8 of Hearts, I've just concluded the heart suit today with the King of Hearts. So have a look. There's like a short version, a short or reel. There's a podcast version, and there's like a 20-odd minute version on the 8 of Hearts, and see what you get out of that. To be honest, I feel like I already know and keep trying this. They already know and trying to keep this science hidden. Well, look, at the end of the day, it's all consciousness. And Charles Harnell, I always remind people when something negative crosses their mind, I remind them of the Master Key System by Charles Harnell, chapter 2.23, where he's talking about the strong counter argument that the subconscious mind has to accept, because the subconscious mind doesn't argue. And if we catch our mind thinking thoughts that are not in accordance with the truth, we need to do the counter argument, and that needs to be strong and repeat it again and again and again, and that will also sink into our subconscious mind. So that's a tempting thought. It's a very tempting thought, but we shall succeed. End of story. Right.
Well, that thought is coming from a truth. Back in the day, we were persecuted. That the parliaments, the governments, the head honchos, the presidents, the kings of these societies, maybe Lemuria, Atlantis, who knows how far back, could be time immemorial, really. And this card system was demonized, and anybody caught doing it was persecuted. So this woman just Darkstar, I think, was it Darkstar? I forget, but they got this hit that this is
Sharon said this.
Yeah, emerging girl boss TV goddess Sharon. Well, I love that name. This is yes, very true. But now we are on the cusp. This is different, because back in those days, those are the dark ages. That's when the light, we were, dumbed down. We lost our power. Women were demonized as well. And we're coming out of that. We call that age the Kali Yuga. Kali is Sanskrit for dark, and Yuga is Sanskrit for a cycle. So now we're moving into the Sat Yuga, which is the age of truth. And we are actually stepping in, but not through, not immediately. We have to go through some purifications this year. We have some things to get through. We have some earth changes. We have some blackouts. We have some hiccups that we must, in order to really purify our planet and raise the vibration, we kind of have to go through the dark night of the soul first. And we're in it now, and it's going to continue a little. So, but stay in the eye of the storm. Know that the dark and the light dance together, and the dark stuff that's happening politically is for a purification. And we are going into an ecosystem, not an ego system. We're leaving that. And that's why these cards, this new galactic technology, which is really old galactic technology, is reborn into this time. It is going to be accepted. And it even will change, because the earth templates different.
Yeah.
In the Kali Yuga, the earth template will actually begin with the 7 of diamonds. When we fully move into that cycle, because our earth will be up an octave, it will be in the 4th dimension, and this earth template is geared and quadrated for the 3rd or even 2nd dimension, and it will begin with the most spiritual card, spiritual millionaire card.
Let me kick in here, because
okay, I stopped talking.
Karyn is a 4 of hearts, and she's got all her cards in the Neptune line. So you can picture that, how that sort of
I'm
shows.
the 6 of clubs, so I just live in that Neptune line with all the potholes and black holes.
Right. Our next, thank you. Oh no, thank you very much. I love this. It's just, we just have to like sort of keep ourselves like contained, because otherwise we can go off on a tangent.
Yeah, I do tend to go off.
My last sentence to that is if I don't know if you've noticed, and if you've noticed, like watching this now, we have a lot of floods. There's a lot of flooding going on, not only in the States, but sort of in other countries as well. So there's the water element seems to bring things to the surface and wash things away, or even in a negative sense as well.
That we're going through. Yeah.
So I don't know if you know, I've certainly noticed. I think it's like, whoa, okay, there's a flood here, there's a flood there, there's another flood here, especially in the States. But sort of then maybe that's just connected to what's going on a human and political and just social level in the States. Right.
We'll feel
next section.
Personally, yeah.
Cardology for single mothers, seeking a romantic partner and finding financial resources using the wealth card formula. All right. Okay, hold on. You can probably sort of tell us or talk to us for about an hour or two about that. If I can jump in. Okay, my timer goes. Starts. Single mothers seeking a romantic partner, financial resources. Those are just 2 areas. What would be other areas for single mothers? Because I want to keep it short and sweet and practical. What is the benefit of using Cardology, maybe even my app? What is the benefit of using Cardology if you're a single mother? What is special when you're a single mother? What stands out? What are the qualities of being a single mother? Number one, probably a male person is missing. So if that male person is missing, then you know that sort of your kids, unless they have that father figure somewhere, that father energy is going to be missing. So you would have to, from my point of view, so you are free to chirp in any time. But from my point of view, you have to make an extra effort to add those male energies for your kids, or help them understand, or help them nurture those qualities, so that they don't go entirely deficient just because their focus is female mother energy. I mean, the romantic partner sort of that is, once again, we should probably leave that for a different or a new live stream. Looking for a perfect match, because that is like probably on many people's cards, even though they may not be single mothers. Financial resources, in a way, the same thing. So it's like it's not just applicable to single mothers. So it's like everybody wants.
Single mothers are the poorest people in the world. Did you know that? It's statistically true. They are suffering more than any other demographic, single mothers. It is so hard to raise a child and go to work full time. And then how do you pay for daycare? And so I get a lot of single mothers, and their main question is, how the hell am I going to survive? So it comes down to the root chakra, which is the survival chakra. And this is, about money. It's about sex. It's about safety. It's about home and the roots. So single mothers can't get past that, really. It's like the hierarchy of needs. If you ever studied Maslow's theory of the hierarchy in that triangle, the tip is where you have self-actualization. The bottom is the root chakra, safety, home, shelter. They're stuck in that. And and rightfully so, it's really hard to elevate up into the higher realms of self-actualization and all the other, the icing on the cake is higher up. They can't get there until they have the finances, because they can't really function any other way without, it takes 2 to raise a baby, or some inheritance or a windfall. And I've seen the best mothers be female kings or female jacks. They sort of embody the mother and the father, and they're able to do it emotionally, and even in other levels, they have an edge. as a single mother. So if you are a reverse gender card, you have an edge over other single mother parents or single father parents. So first off, you got to figure out how are you going to do this financially? Who's going to take care of the kid while you go to school or go to work or whatever you do? So I threw in the wealth formula here because I've discovered the wealth formula, and you can look at Helmar's phone app or whatever app, iPad, I got an iPad to look at it. You can look for your wealth card in Venus or in Jupiter for the year spread to know if this year is going to be a year of struggle or will there be resources. Because if your wealth card shows up, which is calculated according to your birthday, if that wealth card shows up in Venus or Jupiter, which are the two best money planets, or if in the cosmic result, which is also a higher octave of Jupiter, then you're going to be okay. Don't stress. You can sleep at night. It might not be easy, but you're going to be okay. But if you see, for example, black holes or black hole cards, actually 9s and 6s, if you see sometimes even the King of Spades in Jupiter means, it's sort of a wipeout of money, can represent bankruptcy. These are things that you need to go apply for assistance, state assistance. You need to get a loan. You're going to need to prepare. You might need a grandmother, somebody, an aunt to take care of the child. These are things you need to know ahead so you can make informed daily decisions. Can you afford that expensive daycare? No. Can you afford expensive school? Maybe. Can you be a stay-at-home mom and homeschool? These are questions based on, do you have the money to do that? And the wealth formula will show you that. And if you don't have the wealth formula, because it is going to come out in my book, I'll be giving everybody their wealth formula eventually. It's a lot to figure all out. I'm only halfway through that. 52 cards. Each card has a wealth card, a north one and a south one, but that's another subject. But you can just look at your Jupiter cards, 52-day cycle, and your Venus 52-day cycle, because they're all 52-day cycles, because 7 times 52 is 365. You can look in those two money planets and look for afflictions or look for blessings, because your blessed card, you can say, okay, I have blessings in Jupiter and Venus. I'll be okay. We want single mothers and single parents first to have peace of mind and know that they are safe. That's the primary focus of single motherhood.
Thank you, Karyn. If I may, once again, maybe that's what I'm good at, sort of look at things from the meta level, from a distanced perspective, because I've been having these questions, with all my work around the master key system. I mean, that started 18 years ago. Why don't people have the money? And it's I wouldn't even the first step is always a question: what are you offering? I could go off on a tangent. Well, I wouldn't even get them into astrology or cardology. The money that you want comes from other people. End of story. Right? What are you offering? Now we get into cardology. What are you good at that you can present to the world, that other people feel it's needed, and that they're willing to share them, not spell, but what's the word? I can't find the word.
Receive?
No, so that they are willing to give you their money.
So it's right? Reciprocal. Yeah, so like a harmonious... No, but it's just you have to. I mean, it's such a multifaceted and complex subject, because you need energy first and foremost. You need to know sort of who you are and what you're really good at, because you are getting out into a world these days. First and foremost, you need to know sort of what is happening in the world, what services and products are in demand and will come into demand or become in demand. I don't know. So my English sucks today. And the demographics, sort of what am I offering? So because I've realized my master key side, I can say it as it is. I've done master key books, audio products, coaching, etc. That has come to absolute naught. After 18 years, it took an absolute nosedive. Yes, I've done more cardology, but in general, so there's the interest in that is gone to zero, and I need to readjust. And fortunately, I have opened up the avenue of cardology for me with the app and the other things that are going to follow. But in general, sort of, you need to take a very sober look at yourself. What are your skills?
What is your self-confidence and your self-esteem? Because you need to present this to other people. You need to sort of like convince other people to, I had the word again and like sort of slipped off my tongue again, what's it? I want to say, no,
give and
no, it's like you want to get them spend their money on you,
yes.
but you need to be convincing that sort of you and convincing enough that they say, wow, what sort of Helmar or Karyn are offering is actually awesome. Yes, here's my money, because it needs to be reciprocals. So what are you really good at? And this is where Cardology helps to find out, especially as a single mother, what are you good at? What has been put into your cradle, and what is just waiting for you to tap into? Because then we can go into the details into your Saturn card, the teacher, where we often find ourselves in business because of our Saturn cards, because we have to learn the most. With a romantic partner, same thing. The things that we need to learn in terms of money, nutrition, that means health, and partnership. This is where we draw complete blanks when we come out of school. We know everything but those three things. And this is what we have to teach us. We have to teach ourselves to gain a deeper understanding of how money works, how we can enter the money stream, because the money is going to be there anyway. It's just us, the thing taking like a detour and flow through us so that we can derive some benefit from it. Then it flows back anyway, because we're going to expend it. We're going to spend it again on other things. And the romantic partner is the same thing. Sort of, am I the perfect match for the partner? Is the person that sort of I envisage as being the perfect romantic partner, am I actually sort of filling the second half, or is that just sort of like a dream world? Am I realistic about this? Am I working on this? Okay, Karyn, you've got 5 minutes. You've got to be fast.
Okay, well, thank you. I think I can do it. I'm going to talk fast. The wealth formula was discovered by counting Venus and Jupiter. I did a formula that involved Venus and Jupiter in the vertical spread and the horizontal spread, and I counted that. And in Vedic astrology, a husband shows up when Venus and Jupiter are in the internal cycle we call the Vimshottari, which they don't have that in tropical astrology. They just go by the global transits. And other things too, but in Vedic astrology, we have what we call Vimshottari, which is an internal cycle. When your internal cycle is Jupiter and Venus, which is maybe once in a lifetime for 2.5 years, the Jupiter is the Mahadasha and the Venus is the Bhukti, which we have side by side, then those two planets bring you a husband. That is when you'll get proposed to. And that is exactly what happened to me when I was 48. I had Jupiter and Venus, and I was proposed to. Not the greatest option for a guy, but I could have gotten married to this guy. Anyway, so that's why I did this formula, Jupiter Venus, because of my studies with Vedic astrology. I decided to blend Jupiter and Venus, see what kind of money it would bring. But in the midst of discovering this wealth card, I discovered that all my clients, as I tried to track their, are they going to be okay this year financially by looking at their Jupiter and Venus 52-day cycles, applying their wealth cards, they're like, wait, but those are my parents. Wait, that's my husband. Wait, that's my ex-husband. So it was all by accident that these wealth cards are also indicators for who actually takes care of you financially. Parents have to take, like Helmar, you need to pay out for this little baby. You're the provider, you're the protector, right? And back in the day, in Jyotish, the woman didn't go to work, though, it was a patriarchal society in a way. Some women now go to work, but the husband, the Jyotish would not bless the marriage if he wasn't a good provider for her. So Jupiter and Venus are the providers, the money givers. And I can tell you your list of prospective husbands, contenders for a woman, and they will provide for you. Some go north, some go south. However, you get a husband that you get money, but it's pinched. That's represented by the node of the moon south, Ketu, and then you get the north husband that will just provide for you. And it's all formulated. It's all math. Every birthday has its north and south wealth cards. It's good to know these and then track them in Helmar's sacred symbols. Look at your Jupiter and Venus cycles. Now, it's also important to know that you can't just, think willy-nilly you're going to be successful and be this great millionaire if you follow your heart and do what you love, and then automatically clients will come in. You need to understand yourself. What's your contract? What's your blueprint? Look at your Jupiter cards. When you were born, you have a Jupiter card, created a life path for your card, and you have a Jupiter card assigned to you in the horizontal when you count from right to left, and you have one in the vertical. And it's always 4 away from your birth card. That Jupiter governs the bank and Venus secondary. So that Jupiter card, if there are any afflictions to that, either one, then know that money may not be easy to maintain. Even palmistry says that. Do you have spaces between your fingers? You lose money, slips through. So you can have the great idea and have a beautiful service, but money slips through. Look at your Jupiter card. I have 2 Jupiter cards, one, and they're both in a Stargate. 6 of clubs is in a Stargate with the 6 of spades, and stargates are like eclipses. So money comes in eclipse ways. They get eclipsed completely, or it comes in, I get a lot, and then, it's unpredictable. And then my other Jupiter card is, when you count on the Earth spread, is the King of Hearts, which belongs to the Red King Stargate, which is also an eclipse-like situation, and my worst one, because my stress card is the King of Diamonds, which belongs to the Red King Stargate. So money is stressful for me, and in my Vedic astrology chart, I have Jupiter in the 12th house of loss. So we know that money isn't going to come easy for me, where other people, like my daughter has a Maha Lakshmi Yoga. Money grows on trees for her, and she's an entrepreneur, and she's an Ace of Diamonds, and cusps the King of Clubs. She's an amazing entrepreneur. She's got this, and money never is a problem for her. And that's because her Venus and Jupiter cards are not afflicted. She has an amazing Vedic astrology chart, strong Jupiter. And, you need to know that first, so that you don't judge yourself and think, why can't I, I'm doing what I love. Why isn't the money coming? You may just have to work a little harder and really use your mind, your emotional mind, to manifest the money and stay out of fear and anxiety. Because once we start becoming anxious about the money, we actually put up walls it gets even worse. So first, remove your anxiety, know who you are, self-discovery through Helmar's app, look at your Jupiter cards. Who are you? Are you that person that has a Maha Lakshmi Yoga, like my daughter, and money just grows on trees? Or are you the person that really has to work hard for her money? And that's okay. You might be equipped to work hard. I'm one of those that doesn't come easy. I have to work to do it. And I know that. Now that I know that, I am not a victim. I'm not going to whine about money. I know I wrote for this.
No, this is probably the most important. Hold on, let me just get back to my thingy here. That's the most important aspect here. That it's only on the second stage. It's like others. It's the outer world. First of all, it's the inner world. It's the world within. It's us taking a tough, honest, but still loving and compassionate look at ourselves and see where our strengths are, and not be misguided by others, what they're saying and what they're offering, because we will see more and more on offer. So that we just need to understand what are our true strengths. What do we excel at? This is so important. And can we portray this to the outer world? Can we explain this? Do we stand for it? Do we live that strength? And then find yourself the best place where that strength can be deployed or employed. And you may not run your own business, but if you find your niche with your offering, with your core offering in a business, you could be very well off. It doesn't matter where you are. That brings us to our next section, and the clock starts right now. Cardology for seniors who may be struggling with a health, experiencing brain fog and low energy levels, in search of time portals of healing and rejuvenation. Right, now this is 15 minutes, Karyn. Okay. I jump in towards the tail end, so you go.
Okay, yeah, interrupt me in case I start pontificating, which I tend to do because I love this all so much and I'm so passionate about it.
It's like every 5 minutes you can give me a word. You can.
I don't know if I'll remember that. I get hyper focused and I lose everything around me when I start talking about these cards. I need you. Yeah, do that. If you do that, then I'll. Yes. Okay.
Right.
So
Off
let
you
me
go.
tell you about so much to say about health. I have a master's degree in Ayurvedic medicine. Health is my main focus, and it wasn't because I just wanted to, be a good doobie and go study health. It was because I didn't have my health. I had autoimmune disorders and still do, and I had to figure out how I was going to survive. So I had to heal myself, the wounded healer right here. And as a massage therapist for 30 years, I was the one in pain, and I couldn't tell my clients that. They came in and I helped them. Now there are portals for healing that my friend Annette has discovered, and those are the Mercury cards, vertical and mostly vertical. So I found also the one that is horizontal to you. So the card right above you in the earth spread is your healing card. And where your birth card, look for that in the earth spread, then go above, right above it. That is your healing portal. That's your Mercury card vertical. Now the horizontal card that's Mercury to you in the life spread is your healing out. That means that is your a portal for you to give the healing. We are all healers. We all are. So, but it ups the ante when you have a day of that, either a global transit day of, let's say I'm the Four of Hearts, so I'll just use me for example. The Four of Diamonds is when the time is ripe, like the most powerful time for someone to come in and receive a healing from me, because the Four of Diamonds day, the portal widens and more love, more healing, more grace comes through those portals. Doesn't mean you can't heal without that card, but it is just the most ripe and most auspicious time, blessed and sacred, to give a healing. Now, to receive a healing, it is contingent on your card above you, the actual vertical card that sits on top, which is my Queen of Spades. And when I'm sick, for example, I'm going to give you an example. I did something to my lower back, and I was thinking, if this is so bad, I've never had it so bad. What if it's going to be one of those things that's chronic and doesn't go away for a long time? What did I do? I went into my cards. I looked for the Queen of Spades. When did she show up? She showed up only a week later. And then I knew, okay, I'm good. I can do this for 1 week, because it really hurt. And it was true. On that day that the Queen of Spades appeared, my pain was gone. And I have people come to me with cancer and they're like, am I going to survive? I was diagnosed stage 4 or stage whatever. And I look at their year spread and I look for their healing card to show up in a 52-day cycle, hopefully not afflicted. If it goes to Saturn and it's a black hole, not so good. It's like a reversal. But if it's in an auspicious, favorable planetary cycle, their healing card, I can say, oh, you got this. You just take some ivermectin and bendazole, and 2 more months, you're good to go. That is so accurate. So finding your healing portals gives people peace of mind and hope when they're stuck in the unknown and blindsided by doctors telling them, oh, sorry, this is a really bad cancer, or you're never going to recover. I don't listen to that. I look at the cards. I look for those healing portals. You can also look in Saturn. If you don't know your healing card and you don't understand what I just said about the Earth template, just look, in finding your vertical and direct Mercury cards. That may be complicated for people just starting, but if you just look at Saturn, Saturn governs the physical body in the entire year. When you look at all the 7 planets and you want to know, how am I going to feel this year? Go to Saturn. If there are afflictions in Saturn, you're going to need to hire a massage therapist. If you can afford it, go to physical therapy. Make sure you're on the right diet. You can't slack off with food or sleep. You need fresh air, happy music, hugs, laughter. That is your year to focus on all the things that will bring you self-care and self-healing, because we all can heal. But how hard is it going to be? That's the question. If you have a 10 in Saturn, you're going to have success. A 10 of spades, for example, means you need to educate yourself, watch all those, videos that, like, say, for example, Dr. Brian Artis, he is a trailblazer in this, with vaccine injuries and the elderly that are now experiencing so many. It's just hard with the chemtrails. We're in a poisonous world. So it's not just the elderly, it's everybody it's affecting. So that Saturn cycle for 52 days, you need to understand, is your blessed card in there? Is your stress card in there? Is there a 9-6 black hole? Is there a 2-6 blue hole, which is, affliction and codependence in some way? Or, there's so many ways to understand that Saturn 52-day cycle. That's going to tell you about your physical health.
But that's something that sort of, you've been throwing in a lot of cards, aspects. You need to know them. If you sort of, the first thing I thought, so there's Uranus again coming in. You mentioned the vertical Mercury card. Now there's I know because we've been talking about this. There's not exactly consensus about the calculation of the vertical cards, because there's one way that goes up, right from your birth card. The one up would be your Mercury card, your vertical Mercury card, but going up goes against the system of Cardology, where it follows the planets. So the vertical cards, if you follow the planets, then you don't go just from column to column, but on the vertical cards, you go from row to row. So you would actually go up, you go down first and then up. So, and this is interesting. This is very interesting, because just because a system has been presented to you, this is why Olney Richmond's book was called The Mystic Test Book. We need to test these things. Look, it's like, and this makes it difficult because people want sort of like cookie cutter solutions, presented to them on a silver platter. But here it's actually about work. Look what works, find the pattern. And if the pattern, because you can't fool the pattern is always true. Not the individual thing, but it's the pattern. The pattern gives you the reliability. The pattern gives you the reliability. The pattern gives you the thing that you can.
But the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You can do it yourself. Practice with it.
You mentioned quite a few things here, like brain fog, low energy levels, a search of time portals of healing, rejuvenation. You mentioned that, but so can you say, like, if you have like health problems, brain fog, is that Saturn?
Everything for the physical body is Saturn, but if you want to specify brain fog, it would be an affliction in Mercury governing the head. If you have a Mercury black hole, which is the 9-6, where it transits through, passing by in a way, or if you have in the vertical and horizontal a 9 and a 6, or a 2 and a 6, those are afflictions. And of any suit.
But what would it mean, like, sort of, if you have a 9 or a 6 passing through? If you have someone who's new to Cardology, say maybe someone has installed the Sacred Symbols app.
So it's a hard thing to explain because these are quadrations, and the templates that our cards pass through, and they pass through every nanosecond. They are moving. There's a procession, and that's how we make our predictions. So for that year that you're in, and you're looking to see, okay, this year, say you're 61, and you want to know about, how's my brain fog this year, and what if you have issues with headaches or anything to do with the head, then you go right to Mercury 52-day cycle, and the year that you're, you have to find your birthday and go to Helmar. We'll say, I think you have in your program, you have not just vertical and direct, but you have the places that they transit. It's like the landlord of the actual location that it's transiting. Landlords matter. Like if you're renting a place and you have a really bad landlord who won't fix your heat, that is going to affect you. And he's gnarly and he's not nice, and you're going to lose money because you have to, pay the plumber yourself. I'm saying landlords in general, in Cosmos and in real life, matter. So those little landlords that the cards pass through are extremely telling. So if you have a 9-6 and the landlord, Robert Camp's system shows that, then that is a mercurial affliction, and you'll have brain fog. Now, I also want to tell you that there are things you can do. You aren't just a victim to your cards. These are remedial measures I'm going to give you. So you're not helpless. You're not just going to sit back. Oh my God, life sucks. I have a horrible afflicted brain fog year. Mercury. You can actually do things. You can actually check your relationships. Are you in a relationship with someone that you make your sick card with, which I call the stress card now, but it was called the sick card. And in some cases, the death card, because stress kills us. So I decided not to make it so ominous. I call it a stress card because maybe someone knows how to channel their stress. We can't assume everybody is going to have stress and then go to the next level and get sick from it. But some people they know how to remove the stress, and then it doesn't go into the physical body. Okay, that means we're almost done. Yeah.
And it's not just, stress has different causes. It's not just like people in our surroundings.
No, but even your environment.
It could
be measure your street address.
If someone has brain fog, the first thing I would say is, like, what are you eating? How are you sleeping? It's like, what are you putting into this machine that is then maybe even remotely capable of understanding the cards. Because if you have brain fog, stay away from the cards. You need to change your nutrition. You need to get fresh air. You need to ground yourself. And you need to remove any kind of possible toxins from your life. That could be people. That could be animals. That could be the place where you live. That could be electronic EMF radiation overload. And so that could be the media you consume. All that kind of stuff can contribute to you feeling sort of a foggy brain.
Yeah.
Foggy.
I didn't mention any of that because I assumed everybody knew that.
Cleanse yourself, do exercise, go to the sauna, get massages, go to get shiatsu, whatever, sort of anything that helps bring your system in balance. Because if you have brain fog, that means that you're seriously compromised. And there again, me personally, sort of take it from whence it comes. So don't look at the cards yet. Get your primal act together first, and then once you have a little bit of clarity, then sort of you use the cards to see whether you are maybe sort of like constantly compromised because of the cards and because of the people in your environment sort of that may be contributing because of their cards.
I want to make sure we drive that point home, because I've seen people eat the best foods ever, and they exercise every day, and they even meditate. But what happens to this person who's doing all the what we call dinacharya, daily routine, that it's like you can't challenge that. I'm going to use my ex-husband for an example. He hikes every day. He makes his own clarified butter. He eats the best food, clean. I mean, he's doing everything. Like Helmar said, do all these things. Make sure you eat healthy, fresh air, go outside, get the right amount of sleep. These are the 4 pillars of life. Make sure those are covered. That's a no-brainer. He does all that. But what happens when he comes home after a long day? He comes home to a jack of diamonds. He's a 4 of clubs. So he comes home to a jack of diamonds wife. And that jack of diamonds is star code 37, and he's star code 17. Add that up, it comes to 52. 52 is his stress card. He walks right in to a sick portal. So, okay, the hell with it. Why doesn't he just go eat McDonald's? It becomes mitigated. So you understand, I'm frustrated. You can probably tell I'm frustrated because I know he's this relationship, not her, the relationship composite is killing him. And it's true. He gets so stressed out when he thinks of her. Are you in a sick card composite relationship? You need to check that. And if you are, that is something you need to look at. Like right off the bat, do you want to live like that? Because that means it doesn't matter what you eat. It means that this is going to supersede anything you eat. You're not going to sleep. It is the most important thing. Vibration is everything. Everything has immeasurable frequency. So I want you to look at that first. So who are you living with? And then look at the street. Measure the street address. And every letter has a number. Are you living on it? What if he was living on a King of Spades street and he was married to a relationship with the King of Spades? Oh my gosh, he wouldn't stand a chance. So you're living in a house that makes you sick, in the neighborhood that makes you sick, or a town or a city. You have to get all these measurements and then make your decision. Okay. I hope I got all my points across.
No, you did indeed. Let me get my sort of like wagging finger in there for a quick second and say, sort of what Karyn says, you see sort of like, the direction that she's taking, how she expands, how she brings in Vedic astrology and other modalities in there. She can only do this because she's clear in her head and she can communicate this, right? And you need, in order to understand the beauty of cardology and what is hidden behind it, and you see how she uses like King of Diamonds, King of Spades street addresses, King of Spades a composite card with a partner. You need to have some comprehension for this first.
This
right?
is advanced. It's advanced, but
this is advanced. All right. Yeah. Oh, we stop on time.
You'll get it in my book, so it won't be so advanced. It'll all be listed in my book, so you don't have to know the formulas.
Right. We've got 15 minutes again. Cardology for students facing exams and discovering the best time to take them by avoiding certain days prone to mental affliction and optimizing the blessed card formula for the best days for success. That's quite a mouthful to begin with. Cardology for students facing exams and discovering the best time to take them. Well, sort of, you don't really have a choice. Exams come up.
No,
So you
sometimes
don't.
you do. I was helping a law student. She was taking the bar exam and she failed, I think 2 times, maybe 3. She was right at the edge. Like you're only allowed to take it so many times and they give you date options, maybe 2 or
Okay.
3. And then she would throw those date options
Ah,
at me and I'd make sure they weren't in, because the first 2 times she was in a black hole. She couldn't have passed. Of course she's not going to pass. So I wanted to make sure I was hoping to find, I could just pick the day and find a blessed day for her to take it, but we were limited to what they were offering. And now I have the real estate agent who wants to take an exam to be an appraiser. It's very difficult. She's already failed it 3 times. I went back to all the dates that she failed it and I see why she failed it. We got we measured the frequency of the exam itself with the letters. And now she's going to be sending me dates for when she can. Now she'll have a little more flexibility than a law student or bar exam is more tough. But this appraisal, she has more options and she's going to send those dates to me. And I am going to look for her blessed card. I'm not going to give her a date where it's, in a Saturn cycle, unfavorable cycle, or anything that's afflicted. For example, remember last year before Trump was elected, Kamala Harris and Trump had a debate. And Kamala won that debate. Why? If you looked at Kamala's transit cards on that, her personal transit cards on that day of the debate, she had the Ace of Diamonds. I think that was her blessed card. Whatever it was her birthday. She's born October 20th. She has a blessed card of Ace of Diamonds, and she did her debate on a blessed day. Of course she won. And then you looked at Trump's card in his personal transit. He had his shadow card. His Decanat ruling is a 9 of clubs, which is shadow card to the Queen of Hearts. So this was a horrible outcome for Trump because he didn't do it right.
So he didn't
pick the right
day. Can I throw the cat among the pigeons here?
I don't know what that means, but sure. Is that a German expression?
No, it's not. Throw the cat among the pigeons. That's perfect English. Cause some shit. But it's like, sort of like me coming, if I have no idea about cardology, and this is for me the baseline, because those who have dealt with the system and who have reached an advanced level of comprehension and understanding of cardology are far and few between. The majority may, for the first time, get in touch with Cardology through my app, maybe through our live streams, through the videos here on this channel, but sort of basically draw a blank on this. So my question, that's the cat among the pigeons, is there actually any way to find those things out without having to go to an expert cardologer like you are?
Well, it's in my book. So everybody gets a blessed card in my book. But you can also, the blessed card formula is so simple. If you take the star code or solar value of your natal and your solar value of your, what some people call planetary ruler, I call the internal card. So the externally internal card, or like I said, natal or planetary ruler, add that. And you're going to get a sum total. That sum total, if it's above 52, subtract 52, then add your natal card back. Because why is it a blessed card? Because it's more of who you are. And you are the blessing. You are the blessing. So more of who you are, it's like your higher self emerges and you go up an octave in a way, because whenever you add 2 cards together, it takes you up a timeline or a density. So by getting that sum total, and so for example, mine is the star code 23, 10 of clubs, the sum total, right? When I add my 4 of hearts, 4, and my 6 of clubs, internal, 19, 4 and 19 and 4 is 23. So we're going to add the 4 back to the 23. 4 back to 23 is a 27. The 27 is the star code of Ace of Diamonds. So Kamala and I both have the Ace of Diamonds as a blessed code. So if you look at my book, if you don't want to do the formula, or you can just do the math yourself and you can use the star code system. You don't need to do anything, but just find a chart where you see all the math behind every card. So the Ace of Hearts, 2 of Hearts, 3 of Hearts, 4 of Hearts, it goes in a coherent order. It starts with 1, 2 of Hearts, 2, 3 of Hearts, 4. And then if you know the order of the suits, then you end up with the clubs after the hearts, and the king of clubs is going to be a 26. The king of hearts is going to be a 13 because we went 13 away from the ace. We went another 13 away. You get the king, you get the 26, and then we go 26 more. We get the king of spades, number 52. So it's a very simple number system. It's not a secret. Then you find your birth card. You find your planetary ruling, or I call the internal card, add together, I'm repeating, and you get the sum total. If it's above 52, subtract 52, then add yourself back, your natal self back. That, ta-da, is your blessed formula. And anything that you do on a blessed card day is going to be lovely, except when your blessed card goes to an unfavorable planetary cycle, it can turn upside down. It means you might not get such a blessing on that day. Mars, Saturn, Pluto, blessed cards in there, not so good.
I've got an 8 of diamonds.
8 of diamonds. Woohoo! That is the top of the line. That is the most powerful card in the deck.
So that's
your blessed card. So whenever that 8 of diamonds shows up in your spread, you can use Helmar's spread to track it. That is when you, in a favorable cycle, here are the favorable cycles: Venus, sometimes Mercury, Jupiter, Moon, yes, cosmic reward, sometimes Neptune. We don't always, Neptune is one of those touch and go planets, and sometimes Uranus. When I say sometimes, we need to look at the confluence around that. Okay, because you can't just, it's not that simple. If you have a black hole and your blessed card in, like, for example, Uranus, not so good. But, you know, a blessed card in the black hole in a favorable cycle can actually mean something really amazing from the heavens. Like, it opens north. And the blessings can be heavenly and otherworldly in that case. But when it goes to the black hole in an unfavorable planetary cycle, like I just listed, Mars, Saturn, Pluto, sometimes Neptune, then these in a black hole I wouldn't want to do a debate on that day or take an exam or expect, you know, anything good to come from that day. Those are the days that you stay home and you do self-care, you know, get some rest, maybe do something cathartic for yourself when you have a blessed card sort of upside down on an afflicted cycle. But if you are going to have a blessed card in Venus, you should go out and have some fun.
I love this. Right. Students, going back to the subject, facing exams, blessed card formula, best days for success. We've covered that by avoiding certain days prone to mental affliction. Did you go into that? What would be days that are prone to mental affliction? Or did I miss that?
That would be prone to mental affliction? I think I did, but you know what? When I just did a reading today for somebody who is struggling with indecision, doesn't know what she wants to do, and it's sort of her life theme. The 4 of clubs is the card of mental stability. When the 4 of clubs goes into the black hole or into Saturn, for example, or into Mercury, even in Pluto, this means you have no mental stability. You can have indecision. You can just feel very destabilized. It's not a comfortable place to be when the 4 of clubs, card of mental stability, becomes afflicted. Just expect that you might need help that week. You might need to call your counselor or talk to your best friend or do whatever you need to help you get clarity. Meditate.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Because at the end of the day, it is said that the stars incline, but they do not compel. Which means there's always, for any possible mental, let's say in this case, days prone to mental affliction, there's always a solution. Because the mental affliction is a slice of consciousness. Nowhere is written what you have to think. You decide either consciously or by omission, right? So in other words, even though there might be, you can reverse this because your mind is stronger than the system, any system.
Well, the way to reverse it is to know it, recognize it, have awareness, see it, and then you're no longer a victim. Because why? Because you saw it. You become suddenly aware of that you feel this way because you wrote for it and you wanted this experience. And how do you rise above it? You rise above it first with awareness. Okay, wow, today, no wonder I don't feel any mental clarity. I'm really confused. And, you could just go into poor me and I'm just going to crawl under a rock and die. Or you could say, you know what, I get it. I'm going to actually have compassion for myself. I'm not able to make a decision today. I'm not able to feel stabilized. And I love myself enough to allow for that. And I'm going to do things that will help me stabilize.
Yes.
Or are you going to call a friend that destabilizes you? I have a couple of friends that do destabilize me. You know those friends. Don't call them on that day. Call the friend that stabilizes you. Do whatever stabilizes you. Go in the water. Go. I love to be in the ocean. Find your things.
If you have a shit day, go sleep. Tomorrow is going to be different. Your mind is obviously not capable of finding a solution today. So just don't even try. Just like step back, say, okay, I go to bed. Because your mind is disturbed, and the solution to getting your mind undisturbed is turning it off. Where do you turn it off? In bed when you sleep. And then you wake up the next morning refreshed with the energy of a new day, which has a new card, etc. Karyn, I'm going to restart the timer for our last one, a little early, but because we are already here on an hour and a half. Cardology for the unemployed seeking their purpose or the ideal time to find a job. Where's my timer? Off we go. We're not going to make it long. We keep it. Hold on. Let me make it very short. I'm going to reset the timer.
Ready? Okay. So you're someone who is looking for a new job, let's say. Say you were fired or you quit, and you want to know when is the next window of opportunity for a wonderful job to be presented to you. Now, we first have to decide how to understand between a desire, a thought, and the actualization of it. Okay? You can desire to have a new job. You can hope and dream for it. And that'll show up actually as an ace of clubs, ace of diamonds. Any ace will be the beginning of something, especially ace of diamonds, new income stream. Ace of clubs is also a new career. Doesn't necessarily mean big money coming in, but it's a new career as it's a cerebral fire. So all these aces stand for something new, depending on what planetary cycle they fall in your yearly chart. But you first want to make sure that it's not you just hoping and pining. If you're hoping and pining, and say you're stuck in a job. I have had a couple of clients that are just stuck in a job they hate, and they're looking for a new job while they're stuck in the job. If I see all these aces, and I've seen that happen, but it's just a dream. They're just in the yellow pages, or back in them dating myself on Google looking for jobs, or whatever, Indeed.com or whatever, Fiverr, and they can't actually actualize the job. That'll show up as aces. So don't be mistaken. Oh, I have an ace. I'm going to get a new job. You have to see a 9 with the ace if you're already in a job. You've got to close a door before the other one opens. Okay. And then it actually will manifest. If I don't see a 9, then I'm going to say, okay, I can see you really desire this, and you're going to be searching. And yeah, maybe you will manifest, but unlikely if I don't see a 9 on the job that you're in now. Okay. That's one scenario.
Yeah, why 9? Because 9 is about endings, and that's about the closing doors, about letting go of things. Yeah, you have to energetically also disconnect from the old in order to have enough space for the new. And that's not just true for the job; it's also true for relationships. You have to clean or cleanse the field, so for a new person to come in. Just that just as an aside. Okay, carry on.
Yes, and so that is one scenario if you already have a job and you're afraid to quit because you're looking for a new job, or if you're jobless, and you are just waiting for something or looking actively searching. Yes, you don't necessarily need a 9, but you can. That 9 can actually represent the end of the search. Okay, so 9s are really important with the aces when you're on a cusp in the junction of your life of some big change. So look for the 9s and the aces together. And especially Uranus and Saturn, these are the planets that govern jobs. Okay, yes, Jupiter and Venus govern money, and you want to make sure that's aligned, make sure you get a job that actually pays. So you can look in Jupiter and Venus for the answers to that. Now, if you want to find your life purpose, your who are you? Why did you come here? What's the Dharma? You need to actually study your life path. Look at your natal card and study your life path. Just get to know yourself. And what lights you up first? You need to do what lights you up. What do you love? Usually what you love, money will follow. Okay. Usually.
What you love loves you.
Yes, and so follow that, and also know that if you have some Jupiter afflictions in your chart, money might not follow things that you love as easily. Doesn't mean it won't, it just means you have to work harder. So your decanate ruling, this is where the decanate ruling card can come into play. It's not just about life purpose and career. It's actually, I'm finding, so much more than just career and purpose, but it does give you insight. So find your decanate ruling card, and that is in my book or in any of these books that are on Cardology. You can, I think, Helmar, do you give that information?
The Decanat ruler?
Yeah, you have that. Well, you
Not
can
yet.
find it in books. So discover yours, right? And then that's your card. And then go to Helmar's app and you can find that card, that decanate ruling card. Assign yourself that card and then look in that yearly spread for when you might get a job. And actually, that decanate ruling card, know that card, get to know it. Mine is the 6 of Clubs, bringer of light, truth seeker, the channeler, the medium, the psychic. Just
sorry,
know
decanate ruling. You're not talking about the planetary ruler. You're talking about the decanate ruler.
No, the decanate. So find your decanate, and if you're
how's that calculated?
They're all calculated. You can look at my book for them. And I don't have the calculation off the top of my head. So many calculations that's just slipping my mind. It's not an easy calculation.
We'll find that. We'll furnish those 30 details.
Degrees in every sign. To do this calculation, you need your birth chart and time of day and location, because it depends on this. So decan means 10, and there's 30 degrees in every sign. And wherever the sun was in your chart, in tropical astrology, if it's in the first 9 degrees and then second and then up to 30, that breaks it into an equal number of 10, that will assign your decanate ruling card.
Okay, so here we go. This is
complicated. So that you didn't want me to talk about complicated.
Let me summarize this. I'm being like sort of not throwing the cat among the pigeon, but sort of bringing out my lovely Uranus quality. Dummy knowledge for dummy life, right? This here, if you really want to excel, if you really want to get your act together on the health side, on the relationship side, on the financial side, it requires some knowledge. It requires some understanding, requires insight. The system of Cardology helps you acquire this and get in touch with all those qualities, with all this, with information that then helps you make the right decisions and retune your life. It's not something that you'd like sort of you getting presented on a silver platter, because even if it was, your lack of understanding would mean it go into this ear and come out on the other side. It would not actually get stuck in your brain because you don't have the necessary brain cells, as Charles Harner would say. You have to build those brain cells. You have to rewire your brain, and the neuroplasticity, allows you to connect your neural pathways in a different way compared to before. So it takes an effort. Cardology is a beautiful system that allows you an easy entry, but that opens up a massive rabbit hole for you that you can pursue and even branch off into Vedic astrology and other things. So there's like a whole wealth of information behind it, but you need to be open to learning, open to unlearning just as much, and understand that you have to make an effort, a special effort. And particularly this day and age, where technology is advancing at such a rapid rate that a lot of jobs are under threat. End of story. What you do today may be taken away by a machine tomorrow. In the drive to make more money, because the system is all money driven. You know that in the States more than sort of we do here in Europe. It's all money, 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 money. And if you don't have money, you are nothing. And this is something that we need to change. And this is my like satorical outro here for this live stream. We have to understand what's coming towards us in terms of cosmological, longer cycles, the dynamics that are playing out right in front of us. And if we don't, then we get steamrolled. If we do, then we can take the necessary steps in order to keep our life in balance and in harmony, because there's going to be massive, massive changes ahead. And if you don't know who you are, if you don't know what your strengths are, if you don't understand other people, even though there could be politicians that you have no personal relationship to whatsoever, understand what makes them tick, understand the cycles that you're in, the qualities of the cycles. So important. There's one thing, because we have Claire asking, what if your first karma card is a 5 of diamonds, but your Jupiter is also 5 of diamonds? Your first karma card, then you're...
Five of diamonds is a fantastic card. It's a shadow card, though. So whatever your shadow card or karma card is becomes elusive. So what that would mean is just might be difficult to work as a flight attendant or to bring in money that involves travel to get it, because 5 is the wind. So find a job that would be more at home or not too much travel, because we want to reduce the wind and make it less like a 5 of diamonds for you, because otherwise it becomes elusive for you. Any shadow card, or what we call first karma card, is that thing, person, place, or thing that becomes elusive, where you really have to work to get it. So that's the answer to that. Doesn't mean it's impossible. Like for me, finding a home, shadow card 4 of spades, it's always been difficult. I've moved too many times in my life because finding a home has been elusive. Okay, and my health. Yeah.
For the 3 of clubs, the 5 of diamonds is the Jupiter card.
So why are you saying that? Claire? Oh, that's Claire speaking. Oh my goodness. Hi, Claire. Yeah, the first karma card is a 5 of diamonds. It's okay. It just means that, there's a little affliction there. There is, just like mine is afflicted. Well, my strength card is,
And it's a 3 of clubs. It's the author's card. It's the card of the spoken, the written word.
He is a great author. It doesn't mean you can't have it.
No, but it's like it's a card. It's a card that is about diversity. It's a 3, and it's a diversity on the mental side. And the greatest blessings comes through expanding and seeking for new values. That's the 5 of diamonds in Jupiter. And with the 5 of diamonds as a first karma card, I would say it's a reminder to make sure that despite or because of your instability with the 3 of clubs and the 5 of diamonds in Jupiter, and remember, we are still on the Saturn line. So after the 3 of clubs, we've got a 3 of spades, we've got a 9 of hearts, we've got a 7 of clubs, and we've got, hold on, is that actually the Jupiter card? 3 of spades, yes, 9 of hearts, 7 of clubs, and 5 of diamonds. So we for the 3 of clubs, we have a lot of odd cards. So it's of particular importance to the 3 of clubs to create things that are stable in her life, to apply, to save for a rainy day. If you're like on an excursion, like out there with your mental energy, 3s, Robert says 3s are very mental. 3 of clubs is very mental, right? They need to make sure that they save, that they have order and structure, because some of their explorations, I can say this because I'm a 5 of diamonds. I've got that 3 of clubs as a second karma card, obviously. We need to make sure with the 9 of diamonds in particular, first karma card, 5 of diamonds, we need to make sure that we've got money saved for a rainy day, because sometimes we explore and that exploration is not financially fruitful. So for 3 of clubs, I would say make sure that you always have not a war chest, but that you have saved for a rainy day. Very important.
Don't despair, Claire. Because
no, it's just knowing. It's just knowing.
Your Jupiter vertical is the Queen of Clubs. She's lovely and she will support you. So you've only got half of an affliction in Jupiter. The other half is lovely. So you can go either way with your free will.
There you go. And if you know that sort of there's a lot of instability in your life in general by your cards, sort of your life cards, then make sure that you balance it out or balance it off, whichever way you call this, by creating order and structure and stability, reliability. That's what you need, because our lives are very much geared towards expansion, geared towards change. But life is still cruel because bills need to be paid. So make sure that sort of you have enough to be able to pay your bills, and especially, or particularly when you are out like exploring new things, starting off new ventures, new projects, where the financial reward only comes with a great delay. That's my.
Was
yeah, I think
that was very good. Fascinating, Helmar. Like that was well said.
The timer is
very psychic. She's an astrologer too, and she knows these cards very well. So she can actually make money doing this because the Queen of Clubs is the most likely card in the deck. So
and she
step right into what you're doing. Go in deeper. Keep studying your astrology. Keep studying these cards, because the Queen of Clubs is the girl that has the mystical knowledge, and she is the reason for intuition. So keep doing intuitive work, and money will follow.
I love this. Right, let me get rid of the banner. If you don't have any further questions, we have clocked 1 hour 38 minutes, a whirlwind through different demographics, if I can call it such, different practical scenarios for the system of cardology. And as always, I try to, from my limited brain male perspective, I try to keep things simple for you. It's easy to understand for beginners. And to balance things out, I've got Karyn who goes off on a tangent, and she brings in sort of all those lovely modalities and things, and mentions things that I haven't got the foggiest idea what she's talking about. But that should tell you that at base level, there's a reason, and there's a reason for everything. Everything can be explained, and actually very simply.
My books are geared for the Joe Schmo, for simple. You don't have to know formulas. I didn't put formulas in my book. I just made it easy, so you can just find your stress card, your blessed card, your health card, all of it without having to calculate. But I gave the blessed card formula out today, and there's so many more formulas that I might actually put in the next book. But you don't really need them. Just wanting to use Helmar's app for daily.
Well, that's where you may want to start, and then if you want to have a really deep dive and really particular and personal issues, then go to Karyn and get the answers.
And I can teach you, and you can do this system for a living, or no more, no deeper.
Claire says we're a great combination. Thank you, Claire.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Claire.
The American exuberance and the German rigidity, to keep the timer on and keep things plain and simple even for beginners to understand. I think that's very important, because otherwise, sort of with the lingo, so there's always a risk of frightening of people. It's like, what? I don't know what this means. You talk about Decanat ruler and black hole and portal and things like this. And even I was like, what?
I know. I can tend to really
and
go.
This is
my world.
This is, sort of, Karyn is for level 2, 3, 4, 5, and up ad infinitum, and Helmar's for level 1. That's what I've got the app for, so that you can find out what your birth card is, what your planetary ruler is, where you stand right now. There's a day card, there's an explanation, and for those who have got a subscription or made a one-time payment, there's music. So there's a very simple, easy to understand, easy to follow entrance, so that when you come to Karyn, you know your stuff, and it's not all like sort of Greek to you. I think, Karyn, we can end this live stream. It was again a massive pleasure. Again, 1 minute 40, and we can split this up. This is beautiful. We can split this up and post this separately, and sort of don't annoy people who are not interested in seniors or not interested in taking exams, but maybe interested in being a single mother. Sort of how can I use the system of cardology. So, Karyn, final word?
Find a word?
Final word.
Oh, I thought you said find a word. I'm like, I pick a word, any word? No, my final word is please join me in my school. I'll be opening in October. All the eclipses happening in September. So I'm not going to be opening a school during the eclipse season, but October should be a really nice time to begin. It'll be probably 8 or 9 month program. I'm still working it now, and I'm consolidating my 5-book series and making it one big fat book. And I'm adding a little more to, like, formulas, your soulmate card, the wealth card. Those things will be in there, and I might, like I said, add how I got these. I was really not wanting to add formulas to it because I didn't want to scare anybody off, but I've had so many astrologers love this system, and they have the mind for it. They want the formulas. So I'm doing that now. So it's very consuming. And if you want a reading, come on in, and I'm happy to read for you.
Cool. And in the meantime, if you're like new to cardology, and if you're scared of a reading, and probably because you don't understand a single thing.
No, I break it down. I water it down. I'll meet you where you're at.
I hope so.
No, I do.
I love you going off on a tangent. That's because that appeals to my 3 of clubs second karma card.
Good.
So it's like seeking values, looking for values. In the meantime, until October, and if you haven't done so, please feel free. You're most welcome and invited to download the app from the Play Store or the Google App Store and the Google Play Store, and App Store. It's free of charge in the basic version. There's no login, there's no ads, there's no nonsense. You can analyze as many contacts as you like on a fairly superficial level, granted, yes. But for literally, a cup of coffee a month, you can analyze or get all the details for all the contacts anyway. I say this lightly. It's like all the contacts. If you want to analyze 30 people, you can analyze 30 people with a free app, and you can also get the details for 30 people for $2 a month. It's like a piece of cake. Not even as a cup of coffee. It's not even a piece of cake. Do this, enjoy it. We'll do another live stream soon.
Yes, hopefully in a couple weeks. Maybe we do this every other week or something.
Exactly, and we'll pick up some nice subjects because we've entered the rabbit hole, and we're gonna do more deep dives, but at the same time keep it short and simple and sweet. Short, not so much.
More room for questions for people.
Right.
We will.
Karyn, thank you very much. And thank you very much to everybody for participating here and for your questions and input. Love you very much. And we say goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.